13 ABC. Conklin and Company with 13 ABC Action News anchor Lee Conklin. First with what's happening behind the headlines. And Take 3, our panel of political analysts.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Conklin and Company. Coming up on this program today on this Sunday, the Auto Caucus, newly established with the Senate in Washington. We'll touch on that. Of course, the auto industry is so important to Northwest Ohio, the state of Ohio, and the state of Michigan as well. Our Jacqueline Policastro, Washington Bureau Chief, will talk with us about that and also update us on her series of sex trafficking reports, such a prevalent issue here in Northwest Ohio and across the country. That's on the way a little bit later. In Take 3, we'll talk about the confusion, the controversy over the Toledo City budget. But first, what has become a very crowded race, the quick race, the short race, the short time before the May 6th special election in District 2. Toledo City Council Matt Cherry was appointed back in January, and he joins us now on Conklin and Company. Matt, good to have you on the program.
Thanks, Lee.
It is going to be a race to May 6th here.
Yeah, it's a crowded race, that's for sure.
It sure is. We have Marcia Hellman now, we have Bob Vasquez, and we have Joe Salusta, who will all be entering the fray officially as of this past Friday. Everybody in, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
everybody's and ready to go. So you've got a 3-month head start.
Oh, yeah.
On the other candidates, although we've certainly heard of some of those familiar names. Vasquez, Salusta has run in the past, sure. And Marcia Hellman now running as well. So here you go. You've had a number of issues to take up with Toledo City Council now. You've been in the office. So tell us why you think 3 months in, you're the best person to retain the seat come May 6th.
Well, you know, I'm a young leader. I'm a new leader for District 2. I have been working very well with the current City Council and the administration, trying to learn every day. Very, very concerned about District 2 and the economic development that we need to, you know, get moving on and get more people back in District 2 back to work. And I can do that. That's what my normal job is.
Your union job?
Yeah, my union sheet metal worker, Local 33 job is, my everyday job is to make sure I get people back to work and out there in the workplace, and I feel I can do a good job for District 2 with that.
You're quoted as saying this past week you want to keep the ball rolling.
Yes.
So you think the ball started to roll in South Toledo?
I don't see how we can't say it hasn't started to roll. I mean, this is a great thing. We've had no movement there for how long? You know, Mayor Collins, I want to congratulate him. Obviously, he was the District 2 councilman before me. And he's made this happen with, you know, he's gotten my input too, and we've worked together to.
This happened, we're talking about the Clarion Hotel, the demolition, the new Kmart store that's going to be
the new deal.
The at-home store?
Yeah, it's a home goods store, yeah. Garden Ridge, out of, I believe it's Plano, Texas, is coming to town. They bought that building for $1.6 million, and it sounds like they're going to put about $3.5 million into improvements into it. So if we can't call that a ball rolling, or one of the Blade reporters said it best, a springboard. So I like that comment a lot.
Okay, let's tell me about the campaign that you're going to have to launch within a month's time. I mean, this is, you say you've already been campaigning, yeah. If you will. Door-to-door, phone banks. Okay, so we're on the line. Thousands of people out there live in South Toledo. So what is the pitch that Matt Cherry makes to a South Toledo resident?
Well, most everyone knows by now, at least everyone that's been paying attention to the media, is my mom's a retired police officer. Very proud of that. And she's taught me very good values and how to, you know, the biggest thing I want to say for neighborhoods, you know, I've learned from some of my neighbors over the past few years that, you know, the crime has picked up a little bit. I've been working continuously since I've been on staff from January 2nd, since my appointment, with all the block watch groups I possibly can in my area, trying to feel them out, feel their needs, and make something happen. So
you say that you've been learning every day.
Every day.
On City Council.
Every day.
But what have you been able to do on your own that you think provides an addition, that provides improvement to what was City Council before, that you bring without having to learn it on the job?
I think one of the things that I bring, and it goes back to local workforce. One of my biggest problems with not only on city projects but private projects is we have a lot of people that are laid off in the neighborhoods that can do those jobs, and we bring people from out of town or other parts of Ohio to do those. I want to see that change. We have plenty of qualified, skilled workers right here in Toledo, and that's our tax money. The more people working in the city of Toledo, the more taxes that the city of Toledo generates. So the more money that we have to operate with, obviously.
You're a tried and true Democrat. How do we know that you're not just the rubber stamp, another rubber stamp on a Democrat-dominated city council?
Because I looked at this and I looked at that complete issue, and that's not Matt Cherry by any means. I'm true to what I say all the time. Any question that I'm ever asked is straight from here and straight from my heart, and I'll help anybody, no matter what party line you're from.
Did you have questions about this budget situation? Obviously that has not been a smooth process,
No.
Controversial, some confusion. So what were your questions for Mayor Collins regarding this budget?
I've asked every question I think in the book about it. I've had other people come in that past city council people and things like that to explain this budget to me. It's very complex. Want to know everything about it, and one of the biggest things is moving forward after my election on May 6th, I'm really going to dig into it and look at it even deeper. But we as council and as administration on Monday, obviously tomorrow, we need to get it together and pass this budget.
Yeah, by law, you got to have this thing balanced by Monday as this airs. We're taping here on Friday, but this airs on Sunday morning. So what's your biggest question you had for us? You said you had a lot of questions.
A lot of questions for...
That there was confusion over whether there was a surplus or why wasn't this noticed before? I mean, what was your biggest concern?
One of the biggest concerns was, there was a draft told to us that there was somewhat of a surplus, $418,000.
Right.
Now, the way that it was explained to me, which was, I asked it to the administration, and I don't know if quite everyone on council understood it, but there was a $418,000 surplus at that time, but that was only $418,000 less of CIP money we were going to borrow against. So don't believe that was made clear to everybody. And with the homeless shelters and all the other programs that do want money, and don't get me wrong, I think they all deserve their fair shake of money, and would love to see what we can do to get them more. But we have to operate under a balanced budget, and we have to operate within our means. And I know Toledo and the rainy day fund that they used to have, I think we need to really get back to that. We need to start saving for the future, to help us out when we're in times like this, so we're not borrowing all the time against the CIP, and we can get more improvements done in this city.
The difference in numbers, as opposed to 14.1 million from CIP, it becomes 13.6, something like that, and hence the $418,000 figure. We're going to address that more with Ignacio Messina and Skylar Meadows coming up in Take 3. Matt Cherry, best of luck.
Thank you.
On May 6th, the special election. Bob Vasquez, Marcia Hellman, and Joe Salusta also vying for that District 2 City Council seat.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you down the road. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're going to come back in just a minute on Conklin and Company with our Jacqueline Policastro, our Washington Bureau Chief. The Auto Caucus in Washington, and also the sex trafficking series that Jacqueline provided this past couple of weeks. We'll be right back in just a minute.